Do you know how some people speak less and still seem wiser? Well, the secret lies in the power of silence. Have you ever thought about why we often feel the need to talk so much? Maybe it's to show how smart we are, or to make sure we're heard. But more often than not, we just end up sounding foolish. As the famous saying goes, better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. Stoic philosophy teaches us that while we can't control what others think of us, we can control how much we speak. So let's explore the traits of Stoic speakers, but before that, let's understand the science behind the power of silence. The power of silence. The Stoics believed that embracing silence is key to finding inner peace and mental clarity. They believed that by being silent, we can quiet our minds, reduce distractions, and focus better on our thoughts and emotions. This practice can help us become more self-aware and emotionally stable. The Stoics taught that by practicing silence, we can learn to control our thoughts and emotions rather than being controlled by them. This leads to a deeper sense of inner peace and contentment, even when facing tough situations. Silence for the Stoics wasn't just about not talking, it was also about avoiding unnecessary noise and distractions. They believed that simplifying our lives and reducing external stimuli can help us achieve greater clarity and focus. A powerful example of the benefits of silence comes from the life of psychologist Milton Erickson. In 1919, at the age of 17, Milton was diagnosed with polio. The illness left him paralyzed from the neck down, and he could only move his eyes. Forced into silence, Milton began to observe life in a new way. He noticed the subtle cues in his sister's facial expressions and tone of voice, learning to understand their true feelings even when their words said otherwise. This intense observation, made possible by his enforced silence, allowed him to decode human expressions and understand people better. Milton's experience shows that we often miss a lot in our conversations because we either talk too much about ourselves or don't listen enough. By embracing silence, we can become better listeners and more attuned to the subtle cues that others give us. This can improve our communication and relationships. You see, in our noisy world, the Stoic approach to silence can be a powerful tool. It teaches us to pause, listen, and observe, which can lead to greater self-awareness and emotional stability. By reducing external distractions and focusing on what truly matters, we can achieve a sense of inner peace and clarity. Now, as I said, practicing silence doesn't mean we stop communicating altogether. It means we become more mindful of when and how we speak. 10. Traits of the people who speak less. People who speak less often embody virtues valued in Stoic philosophy. They avoid excessive chatter, which helps them become more self-aware. Recent studies confirm that being selective with words aligns with ancient wisdom about the benefits of discretion. These individuals think carefully before speaking, ensuring their words are meaningful and truthful. By distilling their inner thoughts first, they lend more weight and honesty to what they eventually share. This practice of thoughtful speech highlights the timeless value of speaking less and listening more. Let's have a detailed look into the Stoic traits of people who speak less. Number 1. They practice mindfulness and self-awareness. People who speak less often have better awareness of their surroundings and inner states before sharing their thoughts. They take time to understand their motives and thoughts instead of reacting impulsively. This self-awareness helps them know themselves better and recognize their biases and flaws. As Socrates said, the unexamined life is not worth living. Regular self-reflection leads to greater self-knowledge. The Stoics would often retreat into solitude and journal daily to deeply examine themselves. Speaking less helps in this process by providing space to consciously process experiences before forming opinions. It's a way to ensure thoughtful and mindful communication. Number 2. They value brevity and thoughtfulness in speech. People who speak less prioritize meaningful communication over idle chatter. They see speech as a way to express inner wisdom, not just a reflex. As the famous Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This implies that speech should have purpose and be thoughtful. By valuing brevity, they ensure their words carry weight and significance. This approach helps in careful selection of words, avoiding pointless gossip or meaningless details. It enhances credibility and impact when they do speak. Practicing thoughtful speech also hones rhetorical skills, helping individuals convey essential information concisely and effectively, while eliminating unnecessary filler. Number 3, they focus on inner peace and tranquility. Choosing words carefully contributes to a peaceful mind, less affected by external chaos. When we control our verbal reactions, we quiet the impulses of fight or flight responses. Impulsive speech often fuels anxiety, irritation, and emotional volatility. While venting might offer temporary relief, it makes us reliant on external circumstances for inner calm. By containing these impulses, careful speakers develop enduring emotional regulation skills. Number 4, they avoid impulsive reactions and outbursts. Outbursts stem from struggling to align impulsive urges with our values. Self-restraint in speech creates a gap between stimuli and reactions, allowing us to override emotional impulses with wisdom and reason. When confronted with upsetting news, the reflex is to react immediately, escalating tensions. By pausing to process before responding verbally, we can de-escalate and engage in diplomatic discussions later when calm. This thoughtful approach fosters healthier interactions and preserves relationships. Number 5, they cultivate discipline and self-control. Just as physical training builds discipline, mental discipline helps control speech impulses. Many of us can relate to indulging in sugary treats despite knowing they're not good for us. Similarly, we often speak impulsively without considering the consequences. This lack of discipline leads to airing grievances that are better left unspoken or sharing private information in inappropriate settings. Some even have a habit of vocalizing every minor irritation as it arises. By practicing restraint in speech, we develop the ability to pause before reacting emotionally. This conscious pause allows us to override impulsive urges and choose our words wisely. It's like building muscle memory through consistent training. Over time, this discipline becomes ingrained, and we can better control our speech even in challenging situations. Consider a scenario where someone annoys you at work. The impulse may be to lash out immediately, but by exercising self-control, you can take a moment to calm down and respond thoughtfully. This not only prevents unnecessary conflict, but also demonstrates maturity and professionalism. Number 6, they prioritize reflection and contemplation. Just like any skill, the ability to speak thoughtfully requires consistent practice and refinement. However, in our fast-paced world, we often overlook the importance of reflection and contemplation. Activities like journaling, meditation, or simply spending time alone allow us to organize our thoughts, align them with our values, and plan our conversations more effectively. Without carving out time for reflection, our speech patterns can become reactive and habitual. We may find ourselves defaulting to conformity without questioning why we hold certain beliefs or opinions. By disengaging from constant social interaction and taking moments for introspection, we can shape our convictions based on thoughtful consideration rather than external influences. For instance, imagine you're faced with a dilemma at work. Instead of immediately seeking advice from others, take some time to reflect on the situation independently. Consider your values, goals, and potential outcomes before formulating a response. This process of reflection allows you to approach conversations with clarity and confidence, knowing that your words are rooted in genuine reflection rather than impulsive reactions. Number 7, they express empathy and understanding towards others. People who engage in lengthy monologues often miss opportunities to listen and understand others. Instead of truly empathizing, they prioritize maintaining their self-image and dominating conversations. However, those who practice mindful silence and speak only when necessary create space for genuine understanding and connection. Empathy requires more than just nodding along or waiting for our turn to speak. It involves actively listening to others, seeking to understand their perspectives, and offering support without judgment or interruption. By refraining from impulsive reactions and allowing others to share uninterrupted, we demonstrate empathy and create an environment where everyone feels heard and valued. For example, imagine a friend confides in you about a difficult situation they're facing. Instead of immediately offering solutions or sharing your own experiences, take a moment to listen attentively. This requires you to be silent. Validate their feelings, ask questions to gain further insight, and offer support in whatever way they need. This empathetic approach strengthens your bond and will help in forming a deeper understanding between you two. Number 8. They believe silence confuses others. Silence is often misunderstood as passivity, but in Stoic philosophy, it's a strategic choice. Imagine being in a tense situation, like a negotiation or a debate, and instead of reacting quickly, you choose silence. This isn't about being passive. It's about maintaining control over your reactions, a key principle of Stoicism. When you're silent, it creates confusion for the other person. They're left guessing and doubting, unsure of your thoughts and intentions. This uncertainty can unsettle them, giving you an advantage in the interaction. While they're lost in confusion, you're observing, analyzing, and planning your next move with a clear mind. Strategic silence allows you the space to think, breathe, and approach the situation calmly and with clarity. It's not just about gaining the upper hand, it's about embodying Stoic virtues like wisdom and temperance. By remaining silent, you demonstrate inner strength and resilience in the face of external pressures. Silence also gives you the opportunity to truly listen to what's being said and what's not being said. It allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than reactively. In terms of Stoicism, it's not just about what we say or do, but how we react and maintain our composure, dignity, and resolve. So, embrace the power of silence as a shield and a strategy, reflecting your inner Stoic demeanor. Number 9. They know the strength in silence. In this fast-paced world, silence may seem counterproductive, but in Stoicism, it's viewed as a source of strength. Stoicism teaches us to value introspection and inner calm, virtues that are nurtured in moments of silence. When we step away from the noise of the external world, we can hear our thoughts more clearly, understand our emotions better, and determine the direction of our will. Silence offers us a sanctuary where our minds can rest and grow stronger, undistracted by incessant noise. Think of silence as mental training, similar to how a bodybuilder lifts weights to strengthen muscles. Through silence, Stoics fortify the mind. In this quietude, we practice resilience, learning to confront our inner chaos without flinching and emerge more centered and grounded. It's in these moments of solitude that we build the mental fortitude to face life's challenges. Silence also builds clarity. It allows us to sift through our priorities, distinguishing between what is essential and what is noise. This clarity provides us with the insight to act with purpose and intention, rather than impulsively. Our decisions become more deliberate, our actions more meaningful, and our lives more aligned with our core values. Number 10. Silence frees them from pride or arrogance. In the pursuit of Stoicism, freedom from pride or arrogance is essential. It's about recognizing that despite our achievements or status, we are all interconnected and interdependent. This realization liberates us from the shackles of ego, allowing us to engage with life more authentically. Being free from pride doesn't mean undervaluing ourselves or negating our worth. Instead, it's about understanding our strengths and limitations with clarity and composure. It's acknowledging that our accomplishments do not make us superior to others, and our failures do not define us. This Stoic principle encourages us to navigate life with equanimity, treating successes and setbacks with the same calm detachment. It invites us to cultivate humility, approach each interaction with a willingness to learn, and enhance our relationships by letting go of the need for external validation. By embracing humility, we open ourselves to growth and become more compassionate individuals. Regular self-reflection helps us align our actions with our values and reminds us of our shared humanity. Ultimately, freeing ourselves from pride or arrogance enhances not only our inner peace, but also our relationships and interactions with others. Important Stoic rules. Speak less, mean more. You see, the Stoics understood that our words can be harmful if we speak carelessly. Zeno, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus all emphasized the importance of thoughtful speech. Here's advice from these Stoic masters on how to be more by saying less. Number 1. Shut up and listen. As Zeno said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, therefore we should listen twice as much as we speak." Now imagine a friend comes to you with their problems, seeking your ear, not your advice. Yet you jump in with solutions, not realizing they just needed someone to listen. This is not a Stoic response. Effective listening means being fully present. A 2014 study in the International Journal of Listening found that active listening is key to satisfying conversations. It involves showing interest through nodding and eye contact, avoiding rephrasing what they say, and asking them to elaborate on their thoughts and feelings. By listening more and speaking less, we better understand others and can truly help them. Number 2. Always express gratitude to those who helped you. This is how the saying of Epictetus goes: "Be silent as to services you have rendered, but speak of favors you have received." Think about times when someone talks only about themselves and their achievements. It feels ego-driven and lacks gratitude. Stoicism teaches us to recognize those who helped us. When discussing our accomplishments, it's better to acknowledge others. Saying, "I have great mentors," or "my team was helpful," is more meaningful than a lengthy self-praise. Expressing gratitude is not only humble but also concise. Are we giving credit where it's due? Is our speech driven by ego or gratitude? Gratitude is always the better choice, and that's what you should always choose. Number 3. Count to 3 before you respond. Better to trip with the feet than the tongue. Zeno. We've all said something out of line and regretted it immediately. It's natural, but if we excuse it as inevitable, we risk hurting those we care about. Epictetus described the dichotomy of control, highlighting that while we can't control external factors like reputation or social status, we can control our actions, including our speech. Controlling what we say is difficult, but we can hold ourselves accountable. Next time you're in a discussion, count to 3 before responding. Reflect on what you're about to say and whether it's necessary. This pause helps ensure your words are thoughtful and less likely to cause harm. Number 4. Use silence to disarm others. As Marcus Aurelius once advised, "You don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you." Arguments often lead us to lose self-control, with anger likened to temporary insanity by the Stoics. When someone challenges us, we often defend our ego. Instead, a more powerful response is silence. When faced with an irate person, resist matching their tone. Be still and silent, and respond tactfully when the time is right. This approach can diffuse anger and lead to more constructive outcomes. The German proverb, "Die beste Antwort auf Wut ist Stille," the best answer to anger is silence, encapsulates this wisdom. Number 5. Forget small talk and aim to be meaningful. Be silent for the most part, or if you speak, say only what is necessary and in a few words. Epictetus. Quiet people often face criticism, but silence is better than wasted speech. If you knew your breaths were limited, would you waste them on trivial talk? Quality matters more than quantity. Seneca wrote, "As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters." Apply this to your words. In conversations, focus on saying meaningful things rather than filling silence with small talk. You'll find that much of what we say can be left unsaid, saving words for when they truly matter. Number 6. Visualize the worst-case scenario, then push through it. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "Silence is a lesson learned through life's many sufferings." Hardships can teach us to use silence wisely. Public speaking is a common fear, often ranked higher than death. The Stoics used a method called premeditatio malorum, premeditation of evils, to imagine worst-case scenarios. This helps prepare for real-life challenges. Imagine the worst that could happen: messing up a presentation or being ignored at a networking event. These fears are temporary. Visualizing them reduces their power over you. Remember, the opinions of others don't define you. Is your silence due to fear or wisdom? Reflecting on this can help you speak more thoughtfully and fearlessly. The Stoics remind us that we can't control what others think of us, but we can control how we react. By choosing silence, we can control our responses and actions more effectively. So next time you're tempted to fill the silence, take a moment to pause and see what you might learn from it. Embrace the power of silence, and you might find a deeper sense of peace and understanding within yourself and in your interactions with others. Thanks for joining us on this journey. Let me ask you this: have you embraced moments of quiet reflection in your life? If you have, how has it impacted your decisions? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you know someone else who might benefit from these insights, please share this video with them.